My question
Nah,
again.
I loved her.
My question.
I loved her, and you're laughing.
My question again.
I don't like that she laughing like that either. Get your old ass up, dog. It ain't that funny.
Your son couldn't do it. Your grandkids couldn't do it. Your son's grandkids could never do it.
Dog, your whole lineage is cooked.
What do you think's harder? 24-hour open surgery or a 24-hour stream?
And that is why I'm not taking this conversation serious.
So my argument here is that streaming and social media creation is harder than a 9-to-5.
Facts.
Nah, it's not facts, bro. 9 to 5 is way harder, homie.
Why do you say that?
Because you gotta get up every motherfucking day, go to the motherfucking bullshit job, and slave for fucking pennies.
See, that's the thing is you're right. You get up every day, you go through the motions. You don't have to get a good night's sleep. You don't have to be focused. You don't have to be locked in. You wake up, you go, you flip some patties, maybe you sign a few envelopes, answer a few phone calls. With streaming and social media creation, you have to be on your game 24/7. It's like a switch that never
when you're a
turns
mail
off.
carrier, I'm a mail carrier, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I get treated like shit every motherfucking day.
We
I'm
have to
still
deal with
slaving
thousands,
every day.
tens of thousands of
Bullshit.
people critiquing every little thing we do, every
Man.
decision we make, every thought we have.
You guys got it made, man. I wish I had it made like y'all.
We don't have to
I
go
wish.
sign a few envelopes and put them in a mailbox.
Man,
We
you
have
got
to
it
be,
gravy, bro.
What's the next trend?
Because
What's the next
shit I
idea?
go through every
Oh my
day.
God, I have to
And got
stream
dogs,
today.
And I got dogs that want to bite my ass
And
every
you have
day.
lunch breaks. You have lunch breaks. We don't have breaks. We're on 24/7.
So I'm gonna be honest, I think the whole conversation around is a 9 to 5 harder than streaming. I think it's a dumb conversation. And making the point that 9 to 5 is able to get lunch breaks. This is a bad argument because in streaming overall, you just have more freedom. I'm completely subject to company time. I'm completely subjected to the hours of when they want me to work. And for the most part, I don't really have any say-so in the matter.
You got
High energy, 24/7.
I wish I could be at home like you and get back and get paid big money.
We're not even at home. We're walking around.
Man,
We're walking
I
around
wanna
doing
do
things,
all of
going
that
to
because
parties, doing
the
all this
shit,
stuff.
I gotta slave just for not even 100,000 a year. I gotta work double overtime. Bullshit.
Okay, what about this? You're guaranteed to get paid. You have
No, I'm not.
steady rate.
You're not guaranteed?
If I don't work, I don't get paid. It's simple as that.
Yeah, but you have a guaranteed pay.
Guaranteed pay if you
No,
work.
I
That's
don't.
your decision if you don't want
I
to work.
gotta work at the job for
If
years.
I don't go live, I don't
just
get paid
to
either.
collect.
You don't got to deal with people spamming L's.
Yes, we have people in the chat spamming L's. Oh, this is boring. We don't like this video. We have to create content.
Yeah, this is a pretty lighthearted conversation. I'm not gonna take this too serious, but I do want to talk about the overall dynamic of the economy not the economy, because I don't know nothing about the economy, but the overall dynamic of streaming in today's economy as it being a real job versus, your regular 9 to 5 structured job. And that is true, dog. You don't have to deal with people spamming L's. But I vividly remember working at Walmart, minding my business, getting racist remarks and having customers screaming and yelling at me because I don't know something or because I can't help them the way that they need to be helped. I guess, yes, technically a 9 to 5 is the safer job, but I think with streaming or just content creation in general, it is high risk, high reward. Or with streaming, there is really no limit as to how far you can take it. And yes, you may be doing a subathon for 30 days or a 24-hour stream and somebody's spamming L's and saying all of these crazy things to you all day. There is no limit as to how far you can go with streaming. We see Kai Cenat being one of the biggest streamers, not just on the platform, but in the world. He has become a celebrity. With a company that you're working for, there is a limit as to how far you can go. You move up in a company to become a manager that you spent, 10 years trying to get, and you're only making a couple dollars more. The reward doesn't sound as rewarding, does it? And just overall, there is a limit as to how far I can work myself in the company. And it honestly doesn't matter how long I've been working at that job. Honestly, it's the saddest part about working a 9 to 5 is that it really doesn't matter how much work you're putting in. For one, there is no real finish line, and even when you do reach this finish line, it's not much of a reward.
So you raised your flag. Is there a reason you did
Yeah,
that?
because I was actually a cook for 15 years. So that means for 15 years, I had to get up practically every day, get dressed, go to work, and I had to deal with not only adults, but I also had to deal with children.
We deal with children every day, too.
We deal with tens of thousands of children and adults.
The Lacey Thugs are. Do you not know who the Lacey Thugs are?
I can't go out in public without 10 kids coming up and asking for a picture. Do you know how hard that is of a life?
Isn't that special?
That is difficult.
How long do you think this is going to last?
Forever.
Forever,
You think this
hopefully.
is going to last forever?
I hope so. You just proved my point for me. I don't have that security that's gonna last forever. Having a job, being
That's
a
why
cook,
you gotta grind.
you have that security of, oh, I have a job, I have a degree, I have this. This could end for me tomorrow.
Hypothetically, if you all of a sudden you lost all your followers, what would you do?
I know what he'll do. Get a
No, I'm asking
trigger
him.
warning.
I'm asking him. What would
Job.
you do? If you lost completely all your YouTubers, you had nothing, no one watched you anymore, I didn't even watch you anymore, what would you have to do? You would have to go to work.
The fact that these are older people makes this more entertaining, but I wish it was more of a diverse crowd, because her saying, what if you lost all of your YouTubers? That is fucking hilarious. But yeah, I think overall this is a very broad statement, right? Because there are things that are still hard in streaming as well. And making a very valid point that I think his overall public and social life is almost down the drain. Him not being able to step out without people wanting a picture from him, without causing too much attention. His normal life is almost taken away from him. In a 9 to 5, dog, nobody cares. If you go to Walmart, nobody cares if you're out in public. You're a normal person. But it is one of those trade-off situations, right? I mean, or really all of the FaZe members are in better financial situations than everybody sitting around that room. But not only does it come with working sacrifice, it comes with sacrifice of giving parts of your life away. Damn, it sounds like you're selling your soul.
You said you're a nurse, right?
35 years.
What do you think's harder? 24-hour open surgery, like when you're helping with, the doctor, et cetera, or a 24-hour stream?
24-hour open surgery.
Oh, brother.
Short-handed.
We're saving thousands, you're saving one.
And that is why I'm not taking this conversation serious.
My argument is that none of you guys actually did any of the work during that, and it was all your filmers, your editors, your producers. All these people back here are the ones doing the work. You guys just show up and have fun.
They didn't do anything.
It's a group project.
No, because here's the thing.
That's bad takes.
That's bad takes. That's bad takes. That's bad takes.
They wouldn't have any work if it wasn't for us, though.
I feel like that also kind of benefits the streaming aspect. Is you're making so much revenue, or you're making your own business, to the point where you can hire other workers to do things for you to lighten your load.
Have you ever worked a real job?
No.
So how would you know?
I have worked a real job.
What was your real job?
I worked 8 months. I worked a double. I worked Walmart and Panera at the same time for a
Why
year.
is she laughing? Bro, she's making me mad. Why is she giggling? I actually feel like they're wrong.
Hi, I'm Chris.
All right, Chris.
Why do you think a 9-to-5 job is not harder than what you do?
Well, you're guaranteed to pay.
Guaranteed to pay.
Yeah.
And that makes it harder?
Yeah. No, it makes it easier for you
Makes
guys.
it easier because we have a guaranteed pay.
100%. You have
Makes
security.
it easier
Talk about
for
raises.
Okay, and this is a really conversation that I really wanted to base a lot of this around, is that there is lies being told about stability in a 9-to-5 job. And I think when we say 9 to 5, I think it is also a broad statement, because he was bringing up like doctors and all these things that you have to get a degree for. I think 9 to 5 is generally something that you don't need a high level degree for, right? At the warehouse that I work at, we were experiencing a lot of time off. And I don't mean just, a couple of days. I mean weeks at a time. And it was something that was completely out of our control. The job wasn't giving us pay for the time that we weren't working. And honestly, even before I was working this warehouse job, even when I was at Walmart, I experienced this same exact thing, where there would be certain periods through the year where they will literally have to cut your hours, and sometimes less than 40 hours. If I had too many hours, they would tell me to take longer breaks, which goes back to the original point that I made about there just being a limit as not only how much you can make, but how much you can really do that is out of your control. And I understand that they mean that you're guaranteed if you work that you're going to make X amount of money. But I really wanted to get that off because, bro, going through these jobs, I'm just really realizing, yeah, it's more secure, but there is still a risk that comes with it. So if you gotta be a Walmart associate and have to deal with that, dog, go chase your dreams, bro. Go. Hey, this is your message right now. Go chase your dreams. Go do what you really want to do. It's a risk either way you look at it.
What's your name?
So I'm Angelina, and I work as an executive assistant.
You're right. You're right.
So you guys were talking about the mental aspect, and I thought that was really interesting because as someone who works a 9 to 5, technically it's a 10 to 6, but I still have to clock in a certain amount of time. I come home, I'm too tired to cook. Fortunately, I have a beautiful girlfriend that does all of that stuff for me when I get home. But if I didn't, I would have to cook for myself and get to bed in time and wake up in time to commute back to my job.
For about 3 years, I was making money, and it slowly went super up, and then all of a sudden it went down, right?
Yeah.
I lost everything, fell off completely.
about
About to myself. It's a real story. This is a real story. This isn't a joke. Why are you smiling?
We've all been there. Every 9 to 5 worker has been there.
So
that's
going
why.
back to what you said, how you have a support system, I moved across the country from my parents at the age of 19, lived alone in an apartment, was paying a certain amount of money every single month, and I was losing money. I wasn't making enough money to pay my, like I had money in my bank for my rent, but I wasn't making more than my rent.
Yeah.
So I was
You
losing.
were in the red every month.
I was in the
I
red
got
every
you.
single month. Girlfriend broke up with me at the time, so alone
blame you.
across the
Laughing
country.
like that either,
So it's
dog,
like
'cause he
when
was
you're
giving,
alone
like, a
too
real
and
life
everything's going
situation
down,
going on.
where's my support system?
I don't like why she laughing. It ain't that funny, shorty. Like, shut your old ass up, dog. It ain't that funny.
So I have a question. You said that for the first 4 years you started streaming, you had no income. How are you able to survive?
I lived with my mom. I was 16.
So that to a certain extent is privilege.
That's privilege.
It is.
But my mom. How's that privilege? Before you
It's
go there?
privilege because you have the support system to have a place to live.
Well, at 15, 16, I would hope I have parents that would live with me.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't, and they have to
What
take
is that?
9
That's
to
a whole different
5s.
discussion. So a lot of people don't have houses,
A lot of
when they
people
working
don't
9 to
have
5s?
families that support them or accept
but that's a
them.
whole different conversation. What does that have to do with the 9 to 5?
Because they still need to survive. So the fact that you were given
So
the
how did you move to LA?
I moved across the country as well with my mom when I was 15 years old.
Do you not think that's privileged?
I mean, we moved into a 1-bedroom in Santa Monica and shared a trundle bed, so.
Okay, well, I was reselling shoes to afford my mom's mortgage and everything.
Now, I was with Shorty at first, and I don't know if it's because she says she's in a relationship that maybe I stopped agreeing with her. You had me in that first half. Dog. Saying he's privileged because he was staying with his mom at 16 is crazy. I would hope every 16-year-old has the privilege to stay with her mom still.
I can't have a public relationship because of the public eye and how they judge my relationships. I had a breakup with a girlfriend that I loved so dearly because I chose streaming.
So my question again,
I loved her.
My question,
I loved her and you're laughing.
My question again.
And Shorty in the back that keep laughing, bro. Like this man talking about he lost the love of his life and she over there geeked. That's not funny, bro.
My question again.
I loved her.
My question.
I loved her and you're laughing.
My question again. My question. If you think it's so much harder, why are you doing it?
Because I'm passionate about it.
Okay, so you love it. You love streaming. So do you love it more than you loved that girlfriend?
That's what I had to decide.
Oh.
I had to make sacrifice, and
So
that's
you-
what you have to
so
do.
you lost
with
the
streaming.
human touch.
But guess what? If I had a 9 to 5,
lost the human
if I
touch
was flipping burgers,
for-
I could have had a girlfriend still.
Being at that level, it definitely comes with a lot of sacrifice. I don't have to worry about whether or not I want to go for that manager position at Walmart or be in a happy relationship. I don't have to make that decision. Now, that's not to say that he couldn't have also still been in a relationship, because we see people who do content creation and still are married and happy in these relationships. But in order to get where you want to be, sometimes you do gotta drop these people that's in your life, because them being in your life is not going to get you to the level that you want to be. And honestly, I mean, he said it without saying it, but he loved following his passion more than he loved this girl. And that's, hey, that type of selfishness is what we need, bro. If you really want to chase your dreams, you have to be at that level.
to meet you.
I'm a professional model, but
Okay.
I've worked since I was at the age of 14.
Okay.
I was a gamer too.
I just think personally, like I agree with Jason that I think streaming does take a certain more stop than a 9 to 5, and I also think everybody in here, right? If you guys all try to be a streamer, right, and then we all try to do what you guys do,
You get L's in your chat.
the probability of everybody here trying to be an attorney is way higher than somebody making streaming a career.
Absolutely, your job is just got lucky because you're a gamer.
They discredit a lot of what these members have done to get where they're at because that did take hard work. I think a lot of people in that room, because they're older, they didn't come in that generation of content creation even being an idea thought of. Now, I will agree, later in the video they talk about that him gaming wasn't a talent. To a certain extent, I agree with that. But I don't discredit it. I view things like gaming or the things that they're doing, I believe that more as a skill rather than a talent. A talent is looked at as like a gift, something that you're given, something that you're born with. But you don't just wake up out of the womb playing Call of Duty trick shotting. It's something that you had to put hours towards in order to build it, which to me makes it a skill. And for y'all have been able to turn this skill into a profit, which, hey, round of applause for that.
It took me 8 years to make it a career. Is there something funny?
It's a freaking video game.
It's a talent.
Permission to dick ride? Hey, he's made tens of millions of dollars playing video games, so.
Exactly, that's that privilege. That's that privilege.
But I'm saying though, you couldn't hop on a game and do what I do.
You couldn't do it.
That's a skill.
Your son couldn't do it. Your grandkids couldn't do it.
Some people
Your
can't.
son's grandkids could never do it. They could never do it.
Anything that takes a talent.
The genes are done. They can't do it. They can't.
Dog, your whole lineage is cooked. Cause I'm also getting tired of her, bro. She keep laughing. She's not even really trying to have a genuine conversation. Which there are people who I think are, but she's just not taking it serious. Because like I said, back in their day, dog, the idea of somebody being able to make money off of playing a video game, nigga, if we told somebody that 50, 60, whatever years ago, their brains would explode. That was never even a concept for them in their day, and nor was it a reality for them. 30, 40, 50 years from now, we're going to be in a generation where this type of monetization will be a reality for us when we're older. Our kids and grandkids, they'll be able to live in a world where stuff like this, me talking to a camera, will be normal for them. Now, I'm not sure what that would do to their psychology and their brain and their mental, but yeah, we're gonna have to see.
It's difficult to answer that question for us, I think, because we didn't come up in this time frame, in this era. And technology is totally different now, because we were just talking about playing tic-tac-toe on the sidewalk with chalk. I appreciate and respect what they do, and I think that's the consensus for most of us, that we appreciate and respect where they are. Yeah. But it's not, what we did was, we just feel like what we did was harder. And that's what I think.
So
my mind was changed in the sense that now I'm even more convinced that normal jobs are harder.
Yeah, I just think overall, like she stated, they grew up in a time where they were playing tic-tac-toe to pass time by. All they knew was hard work. All they knew was work, so they could make it to their 401k, so that they can make it to their retirement, and that was pretty much the end goal. So even when we got past that point of where we no longer needed to do that, tradition is still kicking in, and they're trying to pass it down to the younger generation. And honestly, I think, I don't want to speak for an entire generation, but I think for us, it just feels like, why are y'all so comfortable? You know, y'all aren't happy with the jobs that you're at. Y'all complain about your back and you don't want to be there, but yet you force yourself to be there out of comfort. And at some point, there's no way in your entire life, it was always a necessity for you to stay at that job when you were more passionate about other things. And of course, there are situations where you have to, but I honestly think it's a complacent issue, because yeah, me working at a company for 40, 20 years, it's stable, sure. But in those decades of me dedicating my life to somebody else's job and purpose, am I happy? Truly, honestly? Am I okay when I close my eyes forever and me looking back on my story like, dang, this was my life, working this job, stocking these shelves and being yelled at? That's not a glamorous life, which is why I think overall, a 9-to-5 job is just, it's less rewarding. It's more labor, it's less freedom. And like I said, it's not as stable as they preach it to be. But that doesn't mean that everybody should just flood trying to be a streamer, making all these podcasts, trying to turn on a camera. We don't care about all your opinions. I don't know if that's a hot take, but some people are genuinely afraid to be normal. I don't know why being average has such a negative connotation around it. You should be able to define success in your life. For some people, having a healthy family is enough for them and they're happy in their lives. Not everybody needs to be this clouded up influencer. Find what makes you happy and chase it. I'm done yapping. Peace.